everybody doing today? Got a little late start, had some technical issues. Ready to get started. Here we go on a Monday morning. It's time for a little countdown. Here we go. Yes, sirree, Bob. Whoever Bob is, it's a yes, sirree on him. Okay. Here we go. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome into the Vital Axiom on a Monday here in the southwest tip of Virginia. Hanging out on the Vital Axiom program we've been doing now for a bit of a time. How about 920 shows? How about that? A 920. It's on fire. We made it red and yellow. Sorry, struggling today. How you guys doing? Glad you're on the show. And we're going to be talking about the church this week. I don't know what your experience is. Okay, hold on. I got audio in the background. Let me hold on. I know what's going on. I just got to fix it. I can figure out how to fix it. So, I'm sorry. What happened is I added a new iPad, and the audio was playing. I was like, what is that? So I can actually see more now than I could before. I can see 3 locations. I can see Periscope, and a couple Facebook. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I was like, what is that in the background? It's freaking out a little bit. Anyway, today's number 920, and we're knocking it out. Let me get a few hellos to Lisa and Amanda and Patty and Tanya and Nicholas and Carolyn and Joyce, my mother-in-law, and Trish from Vegas, and Carol's here. Good to see everybody on the show. We're talking about the church this week. Church. The church. What do you think about church? The church. What is your take? What is your experience? Have you ever had a bad church experience? Ooh, boy, I've had some tough ones. I've been on staff with some people that didn't get it. We'll talk about that. And I've been through some tough church situations, but we're going to talk about that and see what you think. And if I can sing, we're going to do this song that we did yesterday at church. I'll be singing it again tonight at a funeral here we're having at church. So if I can struggle through it with all the sinus stuff, you guys sing with me. It goes like this. Hold on. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before. Oh my soul, I will worship Your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. Time to sing the songs again. Whatever may pass, and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy my strength is failing. The end draws near. It's my time, it's coming. Still my soul will sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then well, we made it through. Good to see you guys on the show today. Hey, Bill, thank you so much for your kind comments. I'm very appreciative. Hey, Lisa, good morning. How are you doing? And Cassandra jumped in the show and love hearing you. Well, thank you so much. Gosh, you guys are kind. And today's number 920, and I want to just give a quick shout out about the fundraising process. You guys know we want to kind of do an upgrade here. It's not going too well. We're almost to $1,700 after about 5 weeks. So I don't know how that's going to end up. Maybe we'll get a new keyboard. We'd like to have a new camera system, but, hey, we're doing okay like we are. If you want to give, you can. You can do that. You can go to the church's zfm.org/give, designate to the Vital Action. But, hey, it's cool if you don't do it. We're not here to raise money, and I'm not one of those guys that does that. So, anyway, hey, we're going to talk this week about the church. Thanks, Kim. About the church. I want you to think about that word. Let's start out by reading a passage where Jesus introduces the concept. Now, we understand that in the Old Testament, before Christ came, there's a temple and the Jewish thing, but the church is something different. And we're going to talk a little bit about that this week, because I think maybe we're losing sight of what the church is. I think we've got caught up in entertainment. We've gotten kind of independent and individualized in our Christianity, and we've really lost the concept of church. And it's not just a concept. I want to make sure we understand that. I want to share what Jesus told Peter. Now, let me set this story up before we jump in. Down at the car wash. Really, what car wash do you travel into the dumpster? Well, that's crazy. Jesus is talking to the disciples, and he says, hey, guys, what's everybody say about me? They're having this conversation. Who do people say that I am? And they say, oh, you're Elijah. You're John the Baptist, come back from the dead, or somebody like that. And then Jesus kind of narrows the process. He kind of points it to them. Says, okay, let's get real. Let's get real. No games here. Who do you say that I am? I mean, who are you? What are you saying about me? What is your conclusion? And so here's what happens. He saith unto them, this is Matthew 16:15. But whom say ye, this is King James, that I am? Whom say ye that I am? And Simon Peter, the kind of the outgoing, sanguine, kind of speak up, kind of say stuff, even if he shouldn't, person, answered and said, you are the Christ. Now, we could just stop right there and talk forever. The Yeshua HaMashiach, which is the Messiah. You are the Christ. Literally, the word Christ means anointed one. You are the Christ. You are the Son of the living God, not a son, but the Son. You're the one that we've been told about since Genesis, since when the Lord said, there's one coming that's going to crush your head. You may nip him on the heel. Verse 17, and Jesus answered and said to him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah. That's Simon Peter. His name wasn't Peter before this. He was Simon. For flesh and blood did not reveal it unto you, but my Father which is in heaven. So now we have a revelatory moment where Jesus is saying, you've had a revelation, a word of knowledge. You've had God has opened your eyes. Something has happened, and you didn't get this from people around you. You've heard from heaven, and I want you to see what he says next, because this is where we begin to understand what Jesus came to do, and you really need to understand that, because I think a lot of people don't really understand what it really means to be a Christian and what that ultimately involves. And I say unto you that you are Peter, which means rock. It means like a rock, Petros. If, for example, if I went out today, I'd say, look at this big rock, or I found this rock in my yard. They would say Petros. And upon this rock, that's the Greek. Upon this rock, I will build my church. What rock? Simon Peter? No. Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. So here's the foundation of everything that we believe. It's Jesus. Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father but by me. And so we know that that's kind of settled. It's not all religions and all paths lead to God. No, they don't. No, only one, and that's Christ. And he said that. I didn't say it. And if you don't like it, don't like him. It's not about me. Thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. I will do what? Build my church. Okay, now we got this concept that Jesus introduces right here when he's talking to the disciples. Number one, yes, I am the Messiah. The Lord has revealed to you, Simon Peter, Dwayne Johnson. The Lord has revealed to you, the rock. The Lord has revealed to you, Simon Peter, that I am the Messiah. And upon that rock, what's that rock? Well, let's say we're laying a foundation, and upon that foundation, what is the foundation? That Jesus is the Messiah, that no man comes to the Father but by him. You must be born again. Upon that foundation, we do something else. We start laying other things, and what is next? The church. Upon that foundation, upon that rock, I will build my church. And then he goes on and talks about the powerful success that's coming to this church. He says, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. What does that mean exactly? It means it won't be overthrown by anything in the world, anything in the demonic realm, anything in darkness or light. It won't be overthrown. It's going to be established. I mean, you can burn it, you can persecute, you can do all you can do, but I'm building my church. Now, I want you to understand something today. I don't know how important that is to you, okay? How important is that to you? The church. Now, remember, Jesus said, first stone, the foundation is what? I am the Christ, Son of the living God. What's next? Church. You mean the Baptist church, the Methodist church? Just wait with me. Church, the church, the church. I will build his possessive, his church. I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. And he goes on to say this, verse 19, Matthew 16:19. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth, wow, that's powerful, shall be bound in heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So, here we go. Here's our question for the week. This is our subject, our topic. What is church? What is church? What is it? Now, I know if you guys were all to light the screens up and just type all kind of stuff, we get all kinds of different answers. We get all kind of different stuff. So I want to talk about that. What is church? Let's talk about what is a church. That's what some of you say, well, a church, which is not the right answer, but we'll go over it. What is church? Well, a church is a big old building. We were in a Lowe's. It used to be a Lowe's building. We redeemed that Lowe's building. We got it back, but we're in a Lowe's building, and we don't have no steeple. And I had lots of people say when we got in this building, you can't put a church there. You don't have a steeple. And I want to go, what? What is that? Hey, Mr. Sousa's in Tennessee, huh? I hope you're not in Venezuela. A church building. So a lot of people associate church with brick and steeples and pews. They think they've been told all their life that is the church. In fact, so much so that we make this property, some people make it sacred. They say, oh, you can't, this is holy ground and all that kind of stuff, which is, there's no scriptural reference or basis for that whatsoever. In fact, a lot of times the church in the New Testament met in somebody's home because they weren't allowed to have buildings, and long story. So what is the reality? Most of us have been taught that they go to a church. A church is a building. That over there is a church building. That's what people believe. So the question comes back again, what is church? What is it? What is church? Then people would say, well, church is, that's Baptist or, hey, Gary Cope, what's up with Phil? That's Baptist or Methodist, Pentecostal, Holiness, Catholic. We've been taught, let me read this to you. I want you to read this statement I gave to the church yesterday. Most of us were taught to associate church with a group or division made by man. So now if you ask people, hey man, what's church? Well, I go up there to the Baptist church. I go up there to the Methodist church. I go over there to that Holiness church. Or around here, if you're from Southwest Virginia, they name it after the preacher. They'll say things like, I go to Hager's church. I go down there, I go over to this. They name it after the preacher, which is crazy, but that's just mountain talk. That's how we do. So we've been taught that church is denominational. It's, you know what the word denomination means? Does anybody know? It means division. Like you got ones, fives, tens, $100 bills, 20s, 50s. Those are denominations. And so what we've done is we've allowed man to come in and take my church, which is Jesus' church, and divide it up into divisions. There was no church splits in the New Testament. Did you know that? There was no church splits in the New Testament. Everybody went to the church in their local area associated with the apostles and all that happened. I'm not saying they didn't have any problems or issues, but I want you to get what you've been taught, because what's going to happen is you're going to have to go in and deconstruct your belief about church. If you don't, how can you ever really do the things that God's called you to do? If you maintain those man-made ideologies about church. Jesus said this. He didn't say, I'm building Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, Assembly of God. He didn't say that. He didn't say, I'm going to build these buildings. They're going to be brick and have steeples. He did not say that. He said, I'm going to build my church, which is a little bit different, or actually a whole lot different than what we think it is. Let's talk about the church. Now, here's my definition, just to start the week off, as we get near the end of the show today. Here's my definition of the church. You ready? Here's what it is. It's the life and gathering. Everybody say life. Touch three people and say gathering. It's the life and gathering of the blood-bought believers in the earth. That sounds kind of spiritual. It's the life and gathering of the blood-bought believers in the earth. Hallelujah. Well, that's how preachers preach it. Let me just kind of break it down. It's the life. The church is the life of believers. No. Wait a minute. No, we don't go. I don't believe I need to go to church. Well, biblically we find out the church is the life. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. It is the life of the believer and the gathering of believers. Those people that have been born again, you might use that terminology. It's the family of God. The family of God. And we're really going to break this down because your misconceptions, my misconceptions about the church are damaging the work of the Lord in the earth. It's really not good. It's not healthy that we believe the things we believe. And I'm going to break down by the end of the week. I'm going to break down all the kind of crazy things we believe. Now, let me just say this as I close the show today. I'm not sure I'll be here tomorrow. I'm not positive because I have a funeral this evening, and then we're going to head out for the graveside. But we're not going to be leaving the church till around noon, so I might be able to get even an abbreviated show in. We'll have to see. Bill Reinhardt, my buddy from down in South Carolina, without the life and gathering of believers, it is almost impossible to be what God made you to be. That is so powerful. Thank you, Bill. So true. Life and gathering. Is the church your life? Are you a part of church life? Is church your life? We're really going to nail that hard this week. Talk about consumers in the church. So I probably will see you tomorrow. I hope that I will. I'll have a suit and tie, be all, looking all woohoo. Love you guys. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you on the flip side. This show, number 920, has officially expired. Deep Six, it's over. We're at the end. Later. See you guys. Thanks for your comments. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Betty, Carol. Y'all the bomb. Adios, au revoir, das vidanya. See you later, alligator. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. I don't know. I'm out of here. I'm done.